Boom! What's going on, guys? Welcome into your energy news beat here on this gorgeous Thursday, March 25th, 2021. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Bear Country. As always, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. My man, how we doing today?
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, so we're going to have a great day.
No, we're going to have a great day, guys. We have a great show for you lined up. You can check all that in a bag of chips out to my left here. But again, continue to subscribe to the world's greatest YouTube channel, Energy Newsbeat, the best place for all of your energy, finance, daily news. Also, check us out online, EnergyNewsBeat.com. It's legit just an IV of news into your veins. We are also available on the Google Play and on the iTunes App Store. Type in Energy Newsbeat. You will never miss anything from us if you download all three of those. I promise you that we really appreciate everybody who's downloaded them already. I mean, let's just go ahead and dive on into it. I think the easiest way to start is read top line indices. SPY rolls over positive for the day, about a quarter of a percentage point on the upside. NASDAQ's falls about a percentage point as we see yields ride about 1.2 basis points. Dow Jones turns positive about a tenth of a percentage point. Couple things. One, yields are up. It's part of the reason why we're seeing the NASDAQ tumble over. The second thing that we're seeing is some data that came in. Weekly jobless claims came in better than what we were expecting. We were expecting a print of 735,000. It came in at a 684 for the week ending in March 20. So good numbers on the data side. It's why you see the S&P and the Dow Jones turn positive slightly. There's a lot of investor sentiment out there. Stu's going to bring up that Suez Canal incident that's coming on. Is it affecting more markets? Yeah, I mean, you might see some dry good prices increase. We know about 5% of the global oil streams out of there. I don't want to cover it too much. Stu's going to give us an update, but just because jobless claims come out well, I think people are also reacting to the fact that yesterday Fed Chair Jerome Powell came out and said that once the market is done rebounding or growing, whatever he thinks, whenever the Fed, basically he said, whenever the Fed decides the market is done recovering, they will begin to turn off stimulus. Well, that's not good. You saw, again, yields rise, tech stocks fall because they rely on that cheap money to continue to grow. Bitcoin, if you're a fan, it was down heavy this morning. It was all the way down to 50. It's rebounded and rolled over. It's actually theoretically flat right now, trading about $52,000, but down from about 57 as it was traded this morning. Crude oil, as I mentioned, based off the Suez Canal, gets absolutely pounded on the WTI front. It's now 4.3 percentage points, 58.63. Oddly, Brent, it's actually up 0.3 of a percentage point, 61.91. Back end of the WTI curve falls 4 percentage points, 3.6 percentage points. Natural gas up at 2 percentage points, fully $2.57. Just some warmer weather rolling in. We also had stock numbers drop, which we will cover back into the natural gas curve, up about a tenth, 1.8 percentage. XOP, E&P Securities, they actually rise about 0.3 of a percentage point. OIH was up, which Oilfield Services actually rise 0.2 of a percentage point. Couple numbers on the downside to worry about. CDEV down 5 percentage points. Crescent Point down 4.6. Ring Energy down 9, and on the heels of bankruptcy in the sell to Bonanza Creek, High Point down 26. Upside, some decent numbers. Range, they were up 3.8 percentage points. CNX up 3.9. Silverbow, we love them. They're up 4.7. EQT rises 5 percentage points. Peabody up 5.8. Antero Resources, they're up 6.2 percentage points to round out the day. Stu, what's going on with the Suez Canal? I feel like everybody on Twitter is a civil engineer now.
Oh,
Give me an
absolutely.
update. What's actually going on?
Well, this is kind of like something that makes your head scratch, and they're saying that it could possibly be 2 weeks, and you already have 160 ships sitting there waiting on this. So you have all these crew. They're running out of food. I know they're running out of Netflix things to watch because they're just sitting there watching Netflix.
Watch the Energy Newsbeat, guys. New show every day.
That's right. Energy Newsbeat. Putin watches it. We got it.
I
We
did
got
see
that.
that meme. That was good.
Yeah, that
Drinks
was
his
a good
vodka while
meme.
he watches. I like that.
Hey, he's got vodka.
I
He's
like
got to
these
do
guys.
that. Okay. And so some of the numbers that are just crazy. Let's see here. Scores. Maersk has 4 other tankers the same size, 160 ships. 43 are in the Great Bitter Lake, and that's stuffed. They can't put any more in there. So this thing is right halfway through the Suez Canal. 30% of the world's shipping container volume goes through there. 12% of all the trade goods in the world go through there. They also are trying to get it with a excavator, tugboats, and they may have to dredge it. The problem is the dredgers are breaking all of their bits because of the rocks that are under it. This is a holy cow Batman moment. Anything that could go wrong with these poor guys is going wrong.
And it was just an accident. It sounds like it was poor weather. And also, what I was reading is it sounds like this brings into account the fact that ships have increased in size over the past decade, yet we haven't done anything about these canal widths. Luckily, it sounds like they're able to pipe some people through some old channels. But man, it's a mess there, Stu. Appreciate you covering it. What else you got today?
Okay. Hey, PetroChina has put in
Oh, yes.
over $3 billion in profit. What's a few billion between friends there? Total crude outputs in PetroChina refineries were over 3.22 million barrels per day last year. That's a lot of crude rolling through the refineries. Unbelievable numbers by PetroChina. Next one. Mexico, he is kind of like, I love some of the quotes in here. He's a little bit grumpy about Texas. Texas, Almo pronounces Texas freeze to push nationalist agenda. He does not like being holden to Texas natural gas. So he goes, this was not good. It's not the IR quote of the day because it was actually accurate. So hats off to President over in Mexico. Back to you.
Yeah, man. I coming from old Texas resident. That's there you go, guys. You learn something. Even I can be shocked someday. Anything else, Stu, on the international side?
Nah, we're just having fun today.
We're having a great show, guys. Again, all of those stories via the world's greatest international energy news site, energynewsbeat.com. I've got two stories real quick. One, natural gas storage, they drop on the U.S. side. Only about 36 billion cubic feet draw, which, a little, not as big as we were hoping for. We're turning around. We are going to start build as, as we begin to exit winter. In most places, we're going to see us in build mode. I still don't necessarily know if we're going to start turning around. It'll be interesting to see how some of these builds come. The only other thing I found interesting was yesterday, as we reported, U.S. President Joe Biden met with multiple different heads of oil companies, including Devon, Chevron. I mean, the list goes on and on. Also on there, President and CEO of the American Petroleum Institute, Mike Summers, who came out and for the American Petroleum Institute endorsed a carbon price. This is crazy because 10 years ago when this was lobbied, they were a staunch defender of it. Here's the quote: "The world has changed since Congress has had this debate." To give you guys an idea, the Tax Foundation estimates that a tax on carbon emissions at a rate of $50 per metric ton with an annual growth rate of 5% could generate, keyword could, 1.87 trillion in additional federal revenue over the next 10 years. I don't want to say hot take, but I'm actually for a carbon price a tax, to be honest with you. Do I think it's $50? No, I think that's absurd. Do I think a $5 to $10 tax on carbon actually might do, if that revenue was put towards carbon capture technology research, if it was put towards, making sure we don't flare as much? I'm all for it, Stu. So I don't want to come out and say I'm totally against a carbon tax. I think a small one is necessary, but I ain't around for $50. What say you?
I am all for cap and trade if it's done properly. There is
This
no
isn't cap and trade.
accountability.
I actually this is a
It is
tax. This is
it
not
is
cap and
a
trade. These are not credits, which is different than what Tesla's doing.
right. However, that being said, if it's a tax and it is not through voting by the people, here's the thing: that's unrepresented. The other thing is, if you sit here and have a tax, can our government actually spend it correctly?
No.
See, they're saying 50, it's going to go to the coffers in order to have the 1 point some odd trillion. And that's just another revenue source for them. It will not, a dime will go to carbon and reducing the carbon. It's all going to get passed on to the consumer. Sorry, bad deal.
It'll get passed on to consumers, Stu. Don't you worry. I still think I don't know. I'm still thinking carbon tax is the way to go. I think I prefer it over cap and trade. You can see how companies like Tesla, states like or countries like Russia are starting to manipulate the cap and trade market. There is obviously a social cost to there is a social cost of carbon. If you
Yes,
deny that, I don't know where to start with you because there clearly is a
there
side
is.
effect to pumping all this carbon. So the economist in me says, okay, there's two ways to get rid of it. It's an externality. Negative or not, it's an externality. Okay? Well, you either tax it or you subsidize the opposite. What do we either subsidize and spend money subsidizing what he wants to do, 4 trillion in infrastructure spending, 400 billion for funding in clean energy and innovation, okay, so 400 billion, or you implement a tax. So I mean that's the two sides. You got two options. People always talk about, well, I don't want to tax. Well, you've only got one other option.
All taxes are being increased, and it's hitting the poor more than anything else.
It is. I mean, this will. It will. It will. But I'm not anti-tax. Hot take, Michael. Maybe most taxes I am, but you get me on. I'll take the side of the API. I sign up for a carbon tax. I should be their new IR guy. It sounds like.
Go ahead.
I do not want that job. Holy smokes!
I
All
don't
right.
want you to
Besides
have
me
that
selling
job.
out, Stu, what else do we got today?
That's it, Michael. We got a lot of fun going on.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to let you get out of here, get back to work, finish your day. Thank you for checking us out. World's greatest energy news show for Stu Turley. I'm Michael Tanner. We'll see you guys on the other side.